Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Eagles beat reporter wonders if Kenny Pickett will even win QB2 job over Tanner McKee. It has been a roller coaster few years for Kenny Pickett. After being the first quarterback selected in the 2022 NFL Draft by the Pittsburgh Steelers, he showed enough promise in his rookie season to give many hope that he could be the team's franchise quarterback of the future. Those hopes were elevated after his second preseason in which he lit up the scoreboard. But then he fell flat during the regular season, got benched after an ankle injury in favor of Mason Rudolph, and then got traded to the Philadelphia Eagles after Russell Wilson signed with the Steelers. Now, there are questions over whether he'll even be able to win the top backup job behind starting QB Jalen Hurts, per 94 WIP's Eagles beat reporter Elliot Shorr-Parks on X. Might be time to have the Tanner McKee over Kenny Pickett discussion, Shorr-Parks wrote. Would be very curious to see them both get reps with the first-team offense just to see who does better. It might be McKee. McKee was taken in the 6th round of the 2023 NFL Draft and is entering his second season with the Eagles. He has never suited up for a game, let alone played a single snap in the NFL, but he is giving Pickett a run for his money for the top backup job. At the beginning of training camp, some reports out of Eagles training camp indicated that Pickett's arm talent was better than expected. Just a week later, McKee is getting some QB2 reps over Pickett, per Philly Inquirer's E.J. Smith on X. I am sure this news won't surprise some Steelers fans. In 24 starts, Pickett managed just 4,474 total passing yards and 13 touchdowns. That is a stat line that would be mildly impressive for a single season, not great for two. The irony is, Pickett would have likely been the undisputed number 2 QB in Pittsburgh behind Russell Wilson this season. Reports indicated that he requested his way out of town after feeling misled about the nature of the competition with Wilson. The Steelers traded him and then acquired Justin Fields in a trade with the Chicago Bears. Look how that has worked out for Fields. Wilson opened training camp injured, and Fields has made the most of the extra opportunities. That could have been Pickett, but instead he is at risk for being buried on the depth chart as the Eagles' QB3. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin reveals one thing he keeps reiterating to QB Justin Fields. New Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Justin Fields has had a terrific training camp thus far. His connection with receiver George Pickens has been on full display as the two have combined for several big plays and scores over the first 2 weeks of camp. Everyone is very excited about the dynamic young quarterback, including head coach Mike Tomlin. Appearing on Up and Adams, the Steelers head coach was asked what he's tried to reiterate to Fields throughout camp. The big thing, the message formally if you want to call it, that I want to continue to relay to him is I don't want to squash his natural instincts, Tomlin said. His mobility and escapability is a weapon. And we don't want to minimize that. We don't want him overthinking. We want him to play fast and fluid. So if anything, from a messaging standpoint, I've probably mentioned that to him a few times. He's new to the environment. I don't want him to overanalyze what we might be thinking. I want him to do what comes natural as it pertains to his game. Fans will get to see Fields' first in-game action this week when the Steelers host the Houston Texans Friday night to open up the preseason. For Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin, a quarterback competition, including one between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, is in the eye of the beholder. And Tomlin is the one eyeing this competition, such that it is one. Appearing on Up and Adams on Saturday with Kay Adams, he explained his idea of competition between the two. Certainly, they're competing, but I don't overly concern ourselves with being fair, Tomlin insisted. There's no such thing as 50-50. We just pay respect to the totality of his resume and his experience. We lean on it, we let him lead the group informally. That is, I think, the key to understanding the Steelers' recent history of quarterback competitions. They were never competitions in the sense that most might understand, as in may the best man win. These have always been weighted competitions, and after Kenny Pickett's offseason last year, that's probably a good thing. Experience has to count for something, and Tomlin values Russell Wilson's history over Fields'. Justin Fields has absorbed a lot of responsibility since coming into the league. It's probably a great opportunity for him to work alongside, day to day, somebody at his position that's done it longer and done it at a high level, Tomlin said, with Wilson being that somebody. But rest assured, both guys are going to be given an opportunity to show their skills over the course of the next month, and I'm excited about watching them sort themselves out, he added. Tomlin has watched Fields advance in whatever quarterback competition the Steelers might have recently, with Wilson's bum calf liming him. Wilson should return soon, however, though perhaps not in time for the first preseason game. To his credit, Justin Fields is saying and doing all the right things, tuning out Mike Tomlin's pole position rhetoric about Russell Wilson. He said on Saturday that none of that changes his approach, and he just keeps plugging along. Tomlin created his own baggage thanks to the quarterback competition of 2022, with Mitch Trubisky starting near the finish line. The only way he wasn't going to start Trubisky was if he absolutely tanked or somebody else demonstrably eclipsed him. There is always time to make changes, and he did 4 games into that season. The Steelers believe that Russell Wilson gives them a better chance to win at the start of the season. But I'm sure they are open to new information, and if they struggle early on, we could see Justin Fields. That might start with some sort of sub-package looks, but any success there will only feed the push toward change. Report: Steelers work out former Giants. The Pittsburgh Steelers will reportedly work out a wide receiver who previously played for the Cleveland Browns. Aaron Wilson of KPRC2 Houston reported that wide receiver Daylen Baldwin will work out for the Steelers on Monday, per a league source. Baldwin played for Farmington High School in Farmington, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit. He would commit to FCS program Morgan State as a member of their class of 2017. He made 16 catches for 181 yards and a touchdown as a freshman in 2017 and then made 14 catches for 152 yards and a touchdown as a sophomore in 2018. Baldwin would transfer to Jackson State in 2019, where he would redshirt. He did play 6 games in the COVID-19 impacted 2020 season, making 27 catches for 540 yards and 7 touchdowns. He received a number of offers as a grad transfer for the 2021 season, but chose to go back home and play for Michigan. He would make 17 catches for 256 yards and 2 touchdowns in 14 games that season. Baldwin declared for the 2022 NFL Draft, but no team would take him, letting him go undrafted. The Browns signed Baldwin as an undrafted free agent on August 3, 2022, but would waive him on August 30. They then signed him to their practice squad on August 31. Baldwin made 1 appearance for the Browns on December 17, where he made 2 catches for 25 yards in the 13-3 win at home over their AFC North rival in the Baltimore Ravens. He would sign a reserve/future contract on January 9, 2023, but the Browns waived him again on August 4. Baldwin signed with the Minnesota Vikings on November 22, but they released him on December 12. He once again signed a reserve/future contract on January 16, and the Vikings released him on May 7. The Atlanta Falcons most recently signed Baldwin on May 22, before cutting him on August 1. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Daylen Baldwin? Leave your opinion in the comments.